Hello everyone. This isn't my usual kind of post, but man, I can't stand to see how people just follow every freaking YouTuber out there blindly.
But making money, making moves, that's going to ultimately change the trajectory of your life.
15 stocks to buy that are down 60% plus. That's what we're getting into in this video, guys. Yes.
From me, Kevin here. So I want to give two updates that I thought were really incredible. Yeah, keep in mind though, this video is brought to you by Extra, and of course my programs on building your wealth, both linked down below. Coupon code expires on Monday.
Hey, this is Tom, and I got an amazing show for you today. A lot to talk about. Peloton, some crazy developments coming out.
What's up, guys? It's Graham here. So today let's try to answer one of the most puzzling questions of the market.
In this post, we are going to talk about why I believe Tom Nash may be a fraud, so please do have some patience and read the full post, as I will go through an in-depth research of his past and his claims. Let's start by talking about who Tom Nash is and says he is. He is a new and trendy finance and stock market YouTuber, which has recently passed 150k subscribers after exploding during this retail investor boom. But here is a short video from his YouTube describing himself.
Growing up in the 80s as a middle-class kid in a small town in Russia, I never in a million years imagined that I'll end up in New York City. But somehow, that is exactly what happened. I got into the University of Michigan. I got my MBA in marketing and finance, and I ended up working for one of the largest investment banks in the world. Working as an analyst and later on as a senior manager, my job was to look at companies, dissect, analyze, and break down their real value. And I absolutely loved that. However, about a decade and a half into it, I realized I'm just making rich people much richer. I'm not making any impact. So I quit my corporate job to do YouTube full-time, exposing fake gurus. I know that it seems like a crazy decision, but I have to follow my heart and I have to bet on doing the right thing. For the rest of my life, I want to impact people in a positive way, even if it means making less money. So this is my YouTube journey.
In the video, he is claiming he is a former, senior financial analyst, which is very hard to believe in my opinion, after doing a lot of research about him. So let's go through the 5 reasons I believe he is lying about his past, and why you should never take anything any YouTuber out there says for granted, and you should do your own research as well. 1. Let's start with the biggest one. His valuation methods are flawed. Even though he has posted some videos that have panned out, it's very hard to differentiate good analysis from pure luck in this recent bull market. Even monkeys could throw darts at stocks in the past 11 months, and be right after the March sell-off. I was pretty curious of his valuation methods, so I joined his channel membership and asked him a direct question about his DCF valuation, to which he responded bluntly that I am doing things wrong. I also sent him a direct link to a well-known financial institute, where we can see that the most common cash flow used for financial modeling, which is the unlevered free cash flow, implies that you subtract any capital expenditures of the company, which contradicts the way he sees it and is plain wrong. It's like he uses second-grade math. If you subtract a negative number, then your cash flow actually increases, which doesn't even make sense. How can something that costs you money be a positive on the free cash flow? I'll let you digest this, as I will next show you some of his DCF valuations, and how he uses absurd numbers and changes the formulas as he pleases just to reach some insane valuations for companies, just to be catchy. Here are a couple of short extracts from his Salesforce DCF calculations. Exhibit A. Everything seems legit until here. Now he starts with the biggest mistake in this DCF. Exhibit B. I'll be blunt. You can never, ever add the capex number to a DCF valuation. That literally throws the whole calculations off, but let's continue. Exhibit C. So, using a discount rate of 6% is also insane. Even with the current low interest rates, you should at least discount the average S&P 500 return, or use the WACC, or any other type of metric, which is much safer than picking out a single company, as the S&P 500 has proven over long stretches to be a great performer.
Why did I use a discount rate of 6%? Well, because the Fed actually came out and said, hey, we're not raising interest for a while, a couple of years. So basically, the 12% I was using to be conservative is no longer relevant. And given that the rates are zero right now and the Fed is not going to raise them for a couple of years, using a 6% discount is actually very conservative.
But yeah guys, this isn't the first time he has done these kind of errors. You can see he is using most of these methods in many stock picks, which are then spread out to thousands of new investors who don't really have the knowledge to test what he is saying. I'm just showing you here a couple of stocks like Dynatrace, OpenDoor, Alibaba, Peloton, Salesforce as I showed in the previous video, and even Apple that have been analyzed and spread to the public this way. The other big issue with his valuations is that he is using insane long-term growth rates, as he used a 5% growth rate for Peloton to reach a higher valuation. So can you imagine? If Peloton grows at a 5% rate in perpetuity, it means they should more than double the inflation rate every year, and is way higher than any GDP growth the US has seen since 1984. He is also implying that Peloton has no debt on its balance sheet, which is 100% false. As you can see here, he used the cash equivalents and marketable securities to calculate the short-term assets, while completely ignoring the over $700 million in accounts payable, no to mention the other current liabilities, which would add up to almost exactly the $1.4 billion in assets he added to his calculations. But who knows guys? Maybe he is the real deal, as he has made some correct DCF implications for some stocks like Fortinet and Fubo TV, by actually subtracting the capex finally, though he doesn't do this in every analysis, not even in the most recent ones, while also keeping that big long-term growth rate at 5%, when I myself never use a bigger one than 4%. Just for an example, I took his CIM numbers and popped them up in my spreadsheets. And even given his methods, I couldn't quite get to the same results without manually editing numbers, as those implications resulted in a 7% undervaluation for the stock, while only adjusting the capex to be a negative on the cash flows and not touching anything else that might be wrong in this DCF, resulted in a 10% overvaluation for the stock. So, I think if he really was a 10+ years Wall Street analyst, I don't think he could have made these obvious mistakes. 2. So, is Tom Nash whom he says he is, or is he lying about his past? Here is the channel intro for his YouTube, which I can't even see anymore, but I was lucky to download it a couple of days ago. As you can see, I don't doubt that he actually went to Michigan, or that he got an MBA, but I do doubt that all of his successful senior financial analyst and consulting career can be described with only a couple of weakest photos of him at an NBA game, or him casually at some kind of a course program, as that is exactly what it looks like with the other guys in the back left of the photo. Also, are we to believe all of this great financial career ended with him just taking out his fake plant from his office, while also smiling as he threw away at least a decent salary for a gamble on YouTube, which is very hard to do, especially when you are starting, as YouTube doesn't really help the small guys. His YouTube journey seemed to have started on the path of exposing gurus and not financial advice, as he also says in the video. So how did he turn to do financial analysis on YouTube? Seems pretty convenient that he just became an expert in stock analysis, as YouTube videos on such things were booming. You can see here, he didn't make a single stock analysis for the most part of 2020, which seems pretty off, as now most of his videos are on stock analysis. And while his channel was created in 2017, he conveniently deleted all the previous videos, which is another weird move to do. I also went on a deep internet dive, and did a lot of searching about him, and I found this video podcast of him. His main intro in this podcast is that he works as a consultant indeed, from Israel, and also the consultancy job isn't for a financial company, it's rather to help people on YouTube grow. So let's look at some extracts from the video. Exhibit I. We can see the main part of the talk is nothing about anything related to his financial past.
Well, my journey was essentially starting from my own passion to do content. I was never trying to advise other people how to do it because I had no clue what I'm doing. And I started actually doing a gaming channel. It doesn't exist anymore. I deleted it in a fit of rage a couple years ago. But I had a gaming channel. It used to be called Gamernomics. and I used to make videos about the business side of gaming. Essentially, it was a horrible channel with subpar content, with many failures and a lot of mistakes, and I learned a lot from it. And as I learned a lot through my own failures, people started asking me questions, and at some point, a small community started up creating around that channel. We started up a Facebook group. That kind of grew.
Let's continue. Exhibit 2. It seems he started with a gaming channel, not even a fake guru channel. And I also found something about that FB group, which isn't active anymore, and all of the videos he made for that have also been deleted, as you can see in this post from way back in 2018, as he was teaching how to make money on YouTube well through 2019, and was even giving out free workshop experiences, as he was pumping out creator content, which is miles apart from financial analysis. By the way, he is using the same freaking photo in his old banner and logo as his current one, just changing the green screen background. Just look at his old YouTube banner, YouTube tips and tutorials. Exhibit 3. Yeah, it seems he also did some video on how to promote on Reddit. And what comes next, guys, is literally mind-blowing. How much more can this dude lie and hide? Exhibit 4. Well, nothing to hide then. He even had a Fiverr account which was called Nash. You can see clearly here. That is his username, and when I went out to check it out right now, he is using a fake picture, and still might live in Israel, not the US. And on top of this, he might not actually even be from Russia, which he has been saying over and over again on his channel. You can see he reiterates he is a certified YouTube consultant with no mention of his financial skills or certifications. And even more, you see what picture he uses as a logo. Yeah. Well, I did a reverse Google search and found the other guy also has a YouTube channel about kinetic cycling. Maybe he was one of his clients that he reached a deal to use his picture. WTF. The more I dig in, the more I am amazed of the lengths this man has gone to reach fame on YouTube. Exhibit V. So, a financial analyst with no sheets, no paper, no nothing. Great stuff for a senior financial analyst. I literally can't take more of this, so let's move to the next reasons. 3. Getting in front of the lie. I believe that's what he was trying to do too, by making a video on this very subject in mid-2020 and popping up higher in the search rankings before his channel boomed. In the video he clarifies that Tom Nash isn't his real name, but he also restated that he was working for a big consultancy firm as recent as this summer, and that he does shit tons of stuff, which is very hard to believe, as usually this big consultancy firms have different departments for different things that he mentioned in the video. You can still find that video on his channel if you are interested. But, by the way, how was he working on that job while also doing hundreds of Fiverr jobs as a YouTube consultant? He also claims to not offering any courses, ebooks or other stuff like this, which is false, as I showed in the previous reasons with his past YouTube courses and other stuff, and as you will see in the next reasons. Something smells really bad out here. 4. Claims about his past. I also took a deeper dive into more of his past. As you can see in his previous channel cover and info, he had only about 4K subscribers, as he was doing guru video reviews on YouTube. But all of a sudden, he became a senior financial analyst from Wall Street that was living in Israel and doing Fiverr gigs. I don't know what to say, but it seems pretty fishy to me. I also checked his LinkedIn page, and all of his skills and endorsements seem to be related to his YouTube skills and nothing about finance or the stock market. But I also found his profile on Quora, where he wasn't that active, but still, well, back in 2017 he was posting things about gaming and YouTube while supposedly still working on Wall Street as a financial analyst. And it's interesting that there is no mention of him following anything related to stocks, finance, economy, accounting, statistics or anything other related to the stock market. So yeah guys, I guess when you make a new type of video, and it boosts your channel from just 10K subscribers all the way up to 150K subscribers, you are willing to push the limits, and lie about your past just to keep everything going, as YouTube is a really good way to make money right now. 5. The transformation. He has had even more channels in the past, not only this one, which he has transformed overnight from a YouTube channel reviewer to a guru reviewer, and finally to a financial analyst, as he created a second and third YouTube account called Gearly Reviews, where he reviews electronics, and Euroball, where he only posted 2 videos. I also searched him through his Reddit posts, and only could find things related to marketing, and social media, nothing about finance yet again. So, my personal opinion, which I doubt to be wrong guys, if there is a case of a dubious and fishy person out there, he is one of them. I believe that he has never worked as a senior financial analyst, and especially not a stock market, asset, or any other type of equity analyst. Most of his stock picks are small caps that are highly volatile, or a couple of recent high flyers, which are very catchy to any YouTube audience. There are many things wrong about the picture he has painted about himself, even though he has gone through a lot to try and erase his past. The fact that there are no mentions of things from the Wall Street or consulting firm, bad stock analysis and methods, fishy and dubious moves of his YouTube channels, and especially fishy things about him being a consultant and analyst in early 2020 while he was already doing YouTube and other stuff back in 2017-2018 really makes me not want to buy his story. Folks, be careful out there. You can find a lot of YouTubers out there who make more money from their advice giving on YouTube, Patreon, or other kind of subscriptions and courses, compared to the actual money they are making or have ever made in the stock market.